Hi, this is Ken from Emerging Creatively Tutorials, and this is ECT TV, episode 44. So today's episode is complimentary to last time's episode, ECT TV episode 43, where we made the buttons and butterflies necklace. Today we're going to be making earrings to match it. Although it is complementary to this necklace, you do not have to have this necklace to be able to make the earrings. It stands alone too. So let's get started. So this is the necklace we made in the last episode of ECT TV, the butterfly and buttons necklace. So I used all these little buttons and some bigger buttons and some butterflies. So we're going to make a pair of earrings to coordinate with this necklace, but I'm only going to be using kind of the smaller buttons. I'm not going to be using the larger, and I'm not going to be using the butterflies. But as with anything, if you want to add those in and make up your own design, of course, you may do that. So let me show you what you're going to need for these earrings. So, of course, these are button earrings, so you need buttons. I'm using the same buttons I used for my necklace, so these are just tiny little buttons. And I'm going to be using 6 for each earring, and as you can see, I already have them lined up how I want them to go, so that they'll match. You don't necessarily have to make yours match. You can do whatever you like with that, but if you would like them to match, you might want to lay them out ahead of time, the 2 earrings, so you can keep track of it a little bit better. You'll need jump rings, and if you did last time's project, then you'll know what size jump rings you need for the buttons you're using. I'm using 7mm jump rings, but depending on your buttons, you might need to kind of adjust that so that the button will go around through one of the holes in the button and around the button itself. And then you're going to need 2 earring wires, and you can make your own earring wires. I will link to a tutorial to make your own earring wires if you come over to the show notes at KimberlyKoehler.com. And then you'll need 2 pair of pliers, chain nose pliers and bent nose pliers. If you don't have bent nose, you can use another pair of pliers that are similar to chain nose or flat nose. Just anything that's flat on the inside will work great, whatever you use to open up jump rings. So let's get started. So the first thing to do is to open your jump rings, and I like to open all my jump rings at the beginning because it just makes things a lot simpler. So you're going to need 12 jump rings, so we're going to open 12 to start off with, and in case you don't know how to open a jump ring, I'm going to show you. So first you want to find where the little slit in the jump ring is, and then you're going to take your bent nose and your chain nose pliers, and you're going to center that little slit in between them. And with one hand, you're going to come toward you, and one you're going to go away. So you don't want to open the jump ring out. You want to open it kind of front to back, and it keeps the circle intact, but it opens. So just like that. So I'll show you. It still looks like a circle, but it's actually open now. And to close a jump ring, you do exactly the same thing, except I like to kind of go back and forth a couple times past the point of closure until you kind of either feel or hear a click. You don't always hear or feel it, but and then you know that it is closed securely. So I'm going to go ahead and open all the jump rings I need for this project. For these earrings, I'm going to work on one earring first, and then I'm going to do the second one. But I have my buttons for both earrings lined up in the same order so it doesn't get confusing. And like I mentioned before, they don't necessarily have to be exact. It just depends on your taste. You may prefer to not have them exactly symmetrical. And the way these earrings kind of are, you're probably not going to make, it's not going to make that big of a difference either way. So I'm going to grab my first open jump ring, I'm just kind of holding it here. And I'm going to start at the bottom and work to the top of my button. So I'm grabbing a button and I'm placing it in the jump ring. And now I'm just going to close my jump ring. So it's a complete, the jump ring is closed and the button is on there. And now I'm just going to kind of keep a hold of this jump ring, grab the next jump ring, and place it through the first jump ring. Grab my next button and place that on that jump ring. And then close that jump ring. And then we're just going to keep doing this same thing back and forth. So I'm grabbing the next jump ring, placing it in the most recent jump ring, adding a button, and then closing. In this case, I'm actually going to flip this button over so it's on the other side. And the reason I'm doing that is so that the buttons kind of go on either side and they just kind of make a nice little bunch instead of, you know, all being on one side. It would kind of look a little bit weird. So just kind of keep going back and forth. So that I put on that side. So now I'm grabbing another jump ring, placing it on, next button. Oops. Hold on to your jump ring, unlike what I just did, and place the button on. Close your jump ring. And you can continue. I'm using 6 buttons, but you could use more, or if you prefer to use less, you could use less as well. And, you know, you can use whatever color scheme, of course, that you like. You might want to vary the sizes of the buttons if you want. And that would be fine too. So, you know, use your imagination. Alright, so I'm putting the last button on, and I actually do want to flip this one over to the other side. Maybe I don't. I'll put it back where it was. Alright, so on this last jump ring, this is where you're going to place your earring wire. So we're just going to open up the earring wire, and I'm going to place that jump ring right into the earring wire. Actually, I want my other pliers. And I'm going to close that earring wire. And just like that, you have one earring. So then you just repeat exactly the same technique, and, you know, try to keep going back and forth with the buttons on either side, and then you have a pair of earrings. So this is the finished pair of earrings. I think they're really cute, and they go perfectly with the buttons and butterflies necklace that we made last time, or you can just make the earrings to go with other pieces of jewelry you have, or just on their own. So I wanted to remind you that you can find step-by-step photos on how to make these earrings over on my blog at KimberlyKoehler.com. The link will be down in the description below the video. If you sign up for my newsletter, when I do these episodes, I create a PDF and I send that out to my newsletter subscribers for each episode. If you want to get on my list for future episodes, you can sign up over at KimberlyKoehler.com as well. Just follow that link I have in the description and you'll find everything you need to get signed up. I would love to invite you to follow me on Instagram. I'll have the link to my profile in the show notes, but my name is Kimberly Kohler, Kimberlie Kohler, and you can follow me there and see what I'm up to, and I would love if you would post photos if you are making any of the projects from these ECT TV episodes. Just use the hashtag ECT TV, and that way I can see it and everybody can see what you're up to. So I will see you on Instagram, and make sure you come over to KimberlyKohler.com to see the step-by-step instructions and photos and to get signed up for my newsletter.